Hello, I'm George. I've been asked to say a few words about running and about life. I've enjoyed running. I didn't start until I was 33, but it's been good to me. I've had a lot of fun with running. You can run at any ability level that you have. You don't have to be fast, and if you're slow, that's fine. You can run for great causes to support people in your community, to help people out sometimes when they're raising funds for sicknesses or things. You can really have an impact upon people's lives through running. And I've accumulated a little bit of hardware. I've run 338 races, which may sound like a lot, but I know people with many times more than that. This is the second in my age group award. Sounds great, but there was only 2 of us. So much for that. This was first in my age group, 60 and above. I was 61 when I won this. The other guy in my age group, 84. I squished him. I had a lot of fun running. You collect some things once in a while, nice shirts, little mementos. You can remember your life through running after a while. But most of all, it just gives you a different sense of life. A couple things to remember. Always be thankful, not prideful. Your ability has been God-given. And you can get a little bit faster, or you can maybe get slower by an injury. But what you've been given is a gift. So be thankful when you can run. At any pace, 6-minute miles, 12-minute miles. Be thankful, not prideful. That'll get you a long way in your running career. As much as I love running and much as it's been a joy to me, there was a time in my life when running let me down. I started experimenting with drugs when I was 16, and that led to 19 years of drug abuse and life-destroying behavior on my part. In and out of jail 4 times, 4 drug rehabilitation programs, married with children. My wife left me. I deserved it. And I kept on going. I had a job, I kept on going. I kept lying, I kept cheating, I kept buying drugs, using drugs, selling drugs, whatever I had to do. My whole lifestyle was built around that deceit so that the people couldn't find out what I was doing. I didn't want to go to prison or back to jail. So it was a deceitful lifestyle, constant. I met a girl at work in 1984. I was 33 years old. And I said, boy, she's nice. I wanted to ask her out. I wanted to settle down. Well, it worked out well. My deceit, I covered things up. She didn't really know what kind of person I was. We moved in together. She found out what kind of person I was. Off and on, she left me again. She got back together with me, and on a whim in 1984, we flew to Vegas and got married. Well, that didn't last long either, because I couldn't change. In 1984, I said, I'm going to stop drugs. I'm going to stop smoking cigarettes. I'm going to change my life. So I started running road races in my local state, in my town, and I would run them every weekend I could get off. I ran a race. And I wasn't too bad. People said, boy, I haven't seen you around, but you run pretty good. They didn't know that I had a cigarette before I arrived at the race. They didn't know that I rolled a joint that's in the glove compartment. I smoked a joint on the way home after the race. That lifestyle led to health problems, bleeding ulcers, depression on my part. I couldn't deceive my wife. I didn't want to be that way. I wanted to stop, but I couldn't stop. It was worse than I ever thought. By mid-1985, my wife was not happy, and one of her friends noticed that, and so she said, why don't you come to church with me? So my wife asked me, will you go to church with me? And I said, no stinking way. Well, she went to church in May of '85, and about 3 weeks later, a guy comes over knocking on my door. Wants to come in and tell me about Jesus. I didn't want to let him in, but she let him in. He sat there at the table and told me about how Jesus died for my sins, and he could offer me forgiveness if I asked for it. I threw him out of my house. Things went downhill fast from there. 3 months later, my wife had left and filed for divorce on me, and I was back before a judge on another charge. But I would try to manipulate things. The judge says, I'm going to order you back to drug rehab. I think you got to get over this stuff. On the first day in drug rehab, the guy says, we can't help you. You got to tap into a higher power to overcome this. As soon as he said higher power, my mind went to Jesus Christ. I went home, in my house. I was losing the house because I couldn't make the payments. And I just asked God, forgive me. I didn't know how to pray. I didn't know what to pray. But I said, please forgive me. A couple days go by, no drugs. Call my wife. Hey, I'll go to church with you. She hang up on me. I ask God again. Okay, Lord, just you, God. I just want you. Just help me to change. A few days later, the wife called me back and says, let's go to church Sunday. We went to church Sunday. We both got saved, gave our lives to Jesus Christ. In February 1986, we were baptized. I haven't used drugs since, and my life is altogether different because of Jesus Christ. Running is fun, makes me feel good, keeps me healthy, but Jesus Christ is my eternal hope, and he can be your eternal hope too. Thank you.